All right. What's up, folks? I told you I was going to be doing a little bit more programming here in the month of April, and here I am with a live. And yeah, hopefully I don't ramble as much as I typically do on my lives, but I'm going to give a shot at a little bit of programming, and then I'm going to get off here. I don't want to be on here too long. You know what? Yeah. I deleted it. Okay. All right. So I had a prompt. I asked DeepSeek. I don't even think I saved it. I asked DeepSeek. I said I want it to plot for me. Either show me or an indicator that will identify a swing low that has at least, I think I said 20 bars. Yep, 20 bars after it stay above the 9-period moving average. So what it did is it created this this program right here. And so the program, I'm going to take a look at it to see if it stands up. And I don't think that it did. Okay, so because again, like I said, I figured I'd start this month with a lot of programming, and I said, you know what? Instead of me programming it, let me see if something like DeepSeek or ChatGPT or something like that, if it can come up with some of these programs that I'm doing. Because if it can, and it does it relatively easily, then there's no need for me to really put a lot of energy into programming when I can just have the computer do it for me, right? Yeah, I'm sure all of you think the same thing. But I don't think that it lived up to it. So let's see what it had. Let's see what it did. Okay, so this is DeepSeek, April 3rd, 25. If I click that, then it gives me an error that it can't reference historical data into the future. All right, and then I look right over at the program. It's actually a short program, which I don't want to say that I'm surprised at. Maybe I make things more complicated than they have to be. But if you look here, looking for this low, this is talking about a low into the future, right? So this won't work. So what I'm going to do is I want to go over here and I'm going to make another show me, and then we're going to try to create the same thing. And we'll see if we are successful. And yeah, I don't think it's got to be that complicated, right? All right, so this will be DeepSeek. Prompt 040325. Okay, get rid of all this. Let me actually see if I can pull up what my prompt was, because I'd like to keep a good track record of what's going on, and I don't think I have it. No, because I didn't log in. Oh, yes, I did. Wait a minute. Open sidebar. Yep, here was my... I'll just copy this. This was my request. Okay. That was my request. All right, so what I'm going to do is let me open up my shortcuts here. Shortcuts. Just going to copy and paste this so we can get it started. All right, and actually won't need all this because we're just doing a show me. Okay, so essentially what we're saying is we want to look for a swing low, like said swing low here. Swing low has 20 bars on either side of it. But the caveat here is that we want to use some type of moving average to make sure that all these lows or the midpoint of the bars or something all stay above like the a moving average. So let's just kind of play around with this a little bit. We'll start off with something like this is my function for swing lows. So let's say if the swing low of 20 bars is greater than 0, then plot we'll plot it at 20 bars ago. That way we'll know that okay, let me explain this to you. In order to find a swing low of 20 bars, you have to have 20 bars on one side of it, right? And you have to have 20 bars on the other side of it, right? So it can't qualify that you have a valid swing low here. You're only, say, 10 bars in. Or here, you're only 15 bars in. It can only qualify it here when you get to the 20th bar. So if we do find that we have condition being met at the 20th bar, it will plot our plot at the 20th bar. If we want it to plot it at the actual swing low that many bars ago, then we have to do something a little bit different. So first, let's look here. We say if we have a swing low of 20 bars, if it exists, then plot, we're going to just start here. We're just going to plot 1 and a low and red. Okay, no errors there. Come over here. We're going to add this deep C code for hit OK and OK. All right, need to make this, instead of making a line, we're going to make it a cross. Hit OK. Okay. All right, so this is where we get our 20 bars at, right? So this obviously is referencing this from 20 bars prior. This is referencing this from 20 bars prior. So just to show you that that is indeed the case, let's also plot 2. We're going to plot it at that 20 bars ago. We're going to plot low. And we're going to make it blue. Okay, low. All right, so now here's the thing. Here is where we found that we have a qualifying swing low of 20 bars. We said plot us something 20 bars ago. What are we plotting 20 bars ago? We're plotting the low of this current instance. The low of this current instance. So if we want this plot to show up down here at the low of 20 bars ago, then this low needs to say 20 bars ago. Verify. All right, so now you get your dots at the bottom, right? So this is where we are qualifying that we have a swing low. This is where we have this is where we are plotting and the swing low occurred. All right, let me see. All right, so let's do this. Let's plot the 9-period moving average. Plot 1, SA9. Oh. Plot 2. Okay. Oh, we already have plot 2 and plot 1. Plot 3. Okay. Now this needs to be a line. Make it a little bit smaller. Okay. We do need to connect the line. Plot 3. Oh, plot 3 is a line. Plot 1 is a cross. Plot 2 is a cross. Plot 3 is a line. Smaller line. Make it the default. Yes. Okay. Yes. That. All right. So here's our 9-period moving average. Right. Okay. So according to our prompt, we have this. Our 20-period moving average is qualified here. It references this low here. So what we're saying is that if we now want all of our, where the swing low, in which at least 20 bars after it stay above the 9-period moving average. So, I think that's actually going to be really hard to do, at least on the 5-minute time frame. But anyway, the way it should be written would be if we have 20 bars after it, if we have those 20 bars stay above the 9-period moving average, then when this is found, then we need to we're going to do a method X check position. So we're going to check the position of all those last 20 bars and see if they're over the 9-period moving average. So method void X check position. Come on. Streaming and running everything for Tradestation. Gets my computer a little laggy. I mean, but overall, it does really good. It's a Lenovo. It's got the i7. I do love it though, but I am trying to break it. I'm literally trying to break it with programming. So I'll be sad when I do, but I am trying to break it. So let's see. Now, how are we going to check that all these last 20 bars are above the 9-period moving average? Well, we're going to use this index here, and we're going to use a loop. So for index of A is equal 0 to, we want to go 20 bars, so we need to go 19. Remember, when you're using the index, this 0 counts as an index also. So from 0 to 20 equals 20 indexes. From 0 to 19 equals 20 indexes. So from here, begin, end. So pretty much we're just gonna, let's have a Boolean that is above 9. Call it above 9. And we'll make sure that above 9 starts off as equaling true. And we'll say if the, what are we going for? The low? We're going to say if the low of how many bars ago? 0 bars ago. That means the current bar. Or if we go to 1, then it will be 1 bar ago. 2 bars ago. Up to 19 bars ago. Excuse me, up to 19 indexes, which will be 20 bars ago. So if low of index of A is greater than SA9, and technically we can't just say the SA9 because, right, the SA9, the 9-period moving average, is going to be the 9-period moving average of wherever we are currently on the chart. So we need to find out what the 9-period moving average is of that bar, right? So if we're here, then this 0, index of 0, will be the 9-period moving average here. But if we're, say, 10 bars ago, then we can't reference the 9-period moving average of 0. We need to reference the 9-period moving average of that 10 bars ago, or that index of A. All right, so if the low is greater than the 9-period moving average, then above 9 of 9 equals true. Okay. So we're going to say if above 9 equals false, then break. So if we're not above the 9, then we want to get out of this loop and just say that the criteria wasn't met. So let's see here. If above 9 equals false, then break. Tell you, it's a lot easier to just program it than to explain it and program it and think of what you're going to do next. So give me a moment, please. Give me a moment. All right, so if above 9 is equal to false, then break. We want to stay above the 9-period moving average. So by the time we get to the end of this loop, if we made it to the complete end of the loop, then index of A will equal what? It will have made it all the way to 19, right? So we could say if index of A equals 19 and above 9, we could probably just use either one, because if index of A gets here, well, yeah, we will need to, because it could be that the 19th bar will be below the 9. So if index of A is equal to 19 and above 9 equals true, then we are successful. So then we could either plot what we want to plot, or we could return something and plot from there. But we're going to plot it within the method. I don't know if that's good practice or not. Then plot 4, we're going to plot, we'll plot it at this location here. Okay. So again, we don't know that this exists as a swing low on this bar, because on this bar, all we see is a wick down. We don't see that this next candle is above it, right? Again, when it looks like this, you don't know that that's a swing low. You don't have these bars over here yet. So now as the chart moves, you're like, okay, well, maybe it is a 20 period swing low. And then by the time you get to 20 bars out, now you're like, okay, yeah, it's a 20 period swing low. But are all these lows above the 9 period moving average? That's the question. So we're going to plot, if this is true, then we're going to plot this here. So we're going to plot at the low, all 20 bars over 9. I'll just run it all together. And then we're going to make that light green. I thought we had a light green. I know we have a green. Maybe there's a dark green and a green. Okay, all right, so right, and now this will not work because all these lows are not above the 9 period moving average. All right, we're gonna hit verify. All right, no errors, but this did not plot. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of this red here because we know that this red is just signifying where we have a plot at, where we have a swing low of 20 to be found. So we're gonna get rid of the red, just comment that out. Do another verify. Now we're gonna come over here and then we're going to look at these plots. This plot here should be a point, make it large. This third one, the third one was the 9 period moving average, so that's fine. And then the fourth one is a point, and that's fine. Okay, so let's zoom out here and see if we have any big reds. Yeah, I figured that'd be hard to do. Okay, all right. Now we know that that's less likely to happen. We know that that's less likely to happen for us to have all these lows to be over the 9 period moving average, right? But for it to be over the 200 period moving average, that is a different story. So let's, instead of having to change this every time we're curious of having a different moving average, let's have a variable called and it's going to be a double because it's a price, double moving line 0. All right, and then copy this, and then on every bar that it runs, it will be calculating what that is. Is it the SA9? I don't know. Let's put this in here. Above 9. And yeah, actually we only reference it one time. Oh, in here. Okay. All right, so now let's verify it. Okay, so that stayed the same because we used the same value, 9 period moving average. Now if we change this from 9 period moving average to the 200 period moving average, now we have to get it to show up, right? All right. Now what happened to our dots? Plot 20 bars ago. Low blue, check position. Now this should have still shown up here. Unless it came off our chart. No? This blue still should have shown up because all we're doing here is saying that if we have a 20 period swing low, then we want to plot 20 bars ago, the low of 20 bars ago. Blue, check position. What we should have, oh, okay, that makes sense. All right, so we're at the beginning of the chart. All right, so this is one thing that you guys have to understand about this Tradestation platform is that if you have something like a 20 period moving, if you have a 20 period moving average, then you're going to have at least 20 bars of data for your script to start working, and then the script will start working from here on out, right? But if you have something that has like a 50 period moving average, then you're going to need at least 50 bars of data before you can start making calculations. So now your chart will run from here out. If you have a 200 period moving average on your chart, on any individual script, then you're going to need to wait until you have 200 bars of data before your script starts working, right? And so you see here, the 200 period moving average started working from here. Well, because we have 200 bars of data here, and now our script can start working, now our script starts working on this bar, okay? And it happened to look back on this first bar that it started working. It happened to look back that last 20 bars to see, do we have a qualifying swing low? And well, yes, we did. So it went ahead and put us a swing low here. But you don't have any other swing lows that occur during this period of time. Okay, so now we come over, and yes, we have these 20 period swing lows where the lows are under the 200 period moving average. Sorry, this is just something that I do. It's my moving average, my 200 period moving average is always red. So there we go. Okay. Oh, red folder news event happened right now. 10 o'clock. I thought there was something at 9:15. What's going on now? Oh, did it run up that high just to run back down? What? 9 o'clock, 9. Wow. Yes, it did. Oh, well. Sheesh. Ran back down to run up. All right, anyway, we're not focused on that for right now. Coming back here. Okay, all right, so we're just going to change this. There we go. Okay, so just to show you when it starts getting interesting, we're going to change this. Instead of the 200 period moving average, let's change it to the 50 period moving average. I thought I had an SA50. SA50? SA 9 period, 20 period. I thought I had a 250. XA50? Nope. SA 20 period moving average. What? I was pretty sure I had a 20 period moving average. Just the SA9. Okay, 1525. All right. Okay, so here, now I'm less than impressed now. Okay, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. All right, so we're still getting a plot here that the low is below the 25 period moving average, but did these last 20 bars all happen to be under the 25 period moving average? No, they didn't. We didn't get a plot here. Let's move that back to 200, because I don't know that we got one here either. And we should have, right? Because all these bars are under this 200 period moving average. So we need to fix something. Unless the plot just isn't showing up. Maybe it's a line plot or something like that. No, it's a point, so it should be showing up. Okay, so if index of A is equal to 19 and above 9 is equal to true, then plot for low. I see it. So if the low is above the 9 period moving average, then above 9 is equal to true. If above 9 equals false, then break. If the low of the index is greater than Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We mixed this up. Okay, so above 9, we're going to start. Let me see. I'm going to start this off to being false. And then if the low is above the 9, then we're going to make it true. And if above 9 is equal to false, you know what? I think we had it right? Because we're looking for 20 bars in which the low stays above the 9. All right, so let's see here. But either way, I think I'm just going to end up rewriting it here, but I'm just going to write the converse or the inverse of what I had before. So above 9 is equal to false. We're going to start off with that, and then we're going to say if the low is greater than the 9-period moving or whatever moving average, then above 9 is equal to true. Else above 9 will stay equal to false. And if above 9 is equal to false, then we're going to break. Then we'll find whatever the index is. If the index happens to be 19 and above 9 is equal to true still, because it made it through the entire loop, then we're going to plot. All right, verify that. Okay, come over here. So these are under the moving average, right? So we need to continue right until we find that these are above the 9-period moving average. So this would have likely got it. This should have got it though, right? Because this is here's our swing low. It would have happened right in. We would have found it right in here, and all these are above all these are above the moving average line. So if above 9 is equal to false, then break. So make sure that we're actually coming into this function. If we have this, then we have this, then we're coming into the function, and then while we're in the function, we're going to set above 9 equal to false for starters, and then for index of 0 to 19, so it'll take us 20 back. If the low of the index is greater than the moving line of that index, then above 9 is equal to true. Else above 9 is equal to false. If above 9 is equal to false, then break. I'll tell you what, just for simplicity's sake, let's just do else begin we could just break there, but we want above 9 to be false, then break. And something's getting very screwy. So if index of A is equal to 19 and above 9 is equal to true, and plot 4. Oh, yeah, plot 4 at the low. All bars are green. Okay, well, let's just make sure that we have the size right, because style point, it's a large point, so that ought to be showing up. Let's scroll over some here. Not seeing anything show up. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to print. Honestly, I typically like to just kind of look through this enough until I figure it out, but I don't think it's cheating to print and to debug. But it'll help you learn where your mistakes are. And then hopefully next time you'll be stronger. Oh no. Okay, there we go. So we did a print. All right, so we're printing what our index is. Okay, so, oh, you silly bee. You guys should have, all right. So if the index is equal to 19 and above 9 is equal to true, why is some of these indexes are at 20? Why would the index be 20 when we told it to stop at 19? You know what it is? Okay, so I learned something new. Okay. So what's happening, I guess, in the back end of this loop, as it runs through this loop, say the index is 0, as it runs through, because it's allowed to be 0. As it runs through this loop, the index is 0. Index of A is 0 here, and then when it leaves here, index of A is still 0, right? But when it comes back around, and by the time we get up to 19, index being 19, and then here index is 19, it doesn't know, because you could use index, you could use a Boolean, you could use other different things, which, like I said, in here, for whatever reason, we could say, you know what, we're going to change index of A is going to be plus equal to 1. And then by the time this index comes back around, we're going to be continuing to add to it, and it's going to make it an infinite loop, right? So it doesn't really know what this index is until it comes back, until it loops back around and comes back and checks if this index is still 1, still 2, still 3, still 4, still 5, still 19, or is it 20, right? So I guess at the point to where it goes through the loop, it has finally spit out that the index will be 20. When it comes back up here, it says, all right, well, now the index is 20, and do not pass go, or what? Pass go, do not go home. I don't know. I'm not a good Monopoly player. My daughter is. All right, but so by the time index is 20, now we're coming back. We're not going through the loop, but by the time we get down here, now it passed 20 to index of A. So that actually makes sense. So what we could say, we could do this one of two ways. And that's why I like programming. I mean, programming is difficult as it is, but that's why I like programming, because we could do this one of two ways. We could say, all right, well, if index of A, so if we made it through the entire loop, if index of A is equal to 19, then break, right? So then it'll break, and then it won't go and add, 20, another iteration to index of A in the end term before it makes it back up to the top. Okay, I think that'll work. Anyway, I think that'll work. All right, verify. Yeah, see, that did work. All right, that's great. I like that. All right, so, but instead of doing that, we're going to get rid of that line, and then we're going to say if index of A is equal to 20. Say that it went through the whole loop, and we didn't check index of A here within the loop, and it made it to the end. If index of A is equal to 20, then we'll plot it. Okay, so first we're going to make this back 19, and you'll see that it doesn't plot anything, and then we'll make this to 20. All right, and it plotted. Yeah, see, and again, I only really came to that conclusion by using the print statement. It helps you learn. It helps, you talk about machine learning and all this kind of stuff. I mean, machines are great, don't get me wrong. We program machines, okay? So, and there are some of us that take the time and might have that kind of analytical, algorithmic thinking, that thought process more than others. And so maybe those are the ones who program the machines. And so now we say, oh man, machines are really, really smart. They're really, really, yeah, well, they are. and they also don't sleep or stop. You know, are there limitations? Sure, but there's also probably a lot less limitations than the human brain might have. But it's to say that the human brain can't figure this stuff out. No, I don't think so. I think we programmed the program, you know. But anyway, but all I'm saying is that this is the feedback loop, right? I'm working on this program, and I've been programming for a while, right? But I'm just now learning this, and I might have seen it before, but I didn't see how it impacted my programming. So now I'll know to really pay attention to the times when I do look for the index when it completes the cycle, because I think that I have plenty of other programs that probably are maybe not quite right now. So anyway, moving forward, again, you use this print statement to debug in the process to figure out what your errors are. And now, as part of the feedback loop, I programmed, I plotted, I printed, and that's the feedback cycle that improves my program to plot. And then I don't have to print this next time. This next time I'll just run right through it. All right, so there you have it. We have swing highs that have 20 bars on either side, and all 20 bars are above a moving line, right? So, and now we can change this moving line to like the SA15 or the 200 period moving average or the 9 period moving average. We can change it to whatever we want to, and then we can just kind of look at the plots and see where we have 20 bar. Oh, there we have 20 bars that are over the 9 period moving average, where the close is above the 9 period moving average. Okay, and you see this one here. This one here looks tricky. This one, the close is above the 9 period moving average. The low is not above the 9 period moving average. Wait a minute. Now we got to go back, because we said the low. If the low is above the 9 period moving average. All right, so how many bars back did we go? We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This is our 20th bar. So we're not including the pivot bar. But I do want to include the pivot bar. So if the low of 0 to 19 should get us 20 elements, dun, 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 dun. So above 9, and above 9 is true. Else we're going to say it's false, and we're going to break. Check position. 0 through 20. All right, so if index of A is equal to 20 and above 9 is equal to true, for some reason I'm getting the feeling like it's not checking the last element, the 20th element. One bar all the way to 20 bars. That's saying 20 bars. If the low Greater than the moving average line. You know what? I'm just not seeing it. Because this is correct. This is 20 elements. Let's get this out of here and then reinstate this one. Okay, so, you know, still doing the same thing, which is what we'd expect, but I just don't expect for this to fire if this 20th one is not included. Let's change this to 20. I think we're about to find something out here. I gotta change all these. Okay, all right, so when we change that, this did not fire. I think that was the only one that fired though, actually. $19. Okay. That one fired and this one fired. I think this one looks like it has the same issue. This low here, this last bar is not under the 15 period moving average. So what I'm going to say is because none of these other ones work, so we only have two instances to fool with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I want to ask what this bar date time is, what the bar date time of this last index is. So if index, so we're breaking if we're at 20, but before we break, if index of A is equal to 19, then print bar date time to string. So we should have 2 show up. There's 1 for 2. This is 312, 7:45 p.m. Oh. What? This is interesting. Because when index of A is 19, that should be 19 bars back. 745 is giving us here. That's saying this bar. Oh, wait a minute. We need the bar date time of index of A, or 19 bars ago. Okay. Pretty much that same thing I was telling you about earlier where you have to use the bars back. Okay, so now we have 610. 610. So 610 is here. So it is giving us it's referencing this bar. It's saying that this is the 19th element. Well, what's the first element then? Let's find that out. But now it's going to give us a bunch of different printouts. So we need to figure out how to limit the printouts. We'll say if the time is between, what did we get before? The bar date time was what? 7:45? Okay, so we're running this whole script. We're running this function on the 745 bar, right? So if the bar is 745 or 1945, then print what IDX phase is. Okay, so if time is equal to 1945, then print bar date time dot to string of index of the first index, which is the first element, which is the 0 index. Okay, I don't know why. What? I don't know why I did it so many times. Oh well, if it's printing that first bar on every iteration of the run, but either way, it still says 745. Well, that's because the time is 745. Okay, so we need to do the index. If the index of A is equal to 0, so if we're on that first index run, and the time that we're running this whole function on is 745, then print bar date time of that index of A. There we go. Now we should only get 1. All right. Let's clear this. All right, got a few. 312, 745. So yeah, it's saying that that first index is this first one. Also day 1 at 6:10 p.m. Oh, I think I have to I'm wondering if we have an overlap here, if the overlap is causing an issue. From this one to this one is causing the issue. Let's see how many bars this is. So from here, from this bar to this bar is 36 bars. So that would not cause an overlap or issue or anything like that. All right, let's check our print statement because we have several. Mark all. That's the only. Nope. Print statement here. Print statement here. We don't need that one. Okay, so that's why we had more than one. Okay. I still got one on 312 and one on 326. All right, so 312, 745, that is our first index there. And our 19th index came up here. But I thought that we counted and we said that that was the 19th bar, not the 20th bar. So let's try to do it again. So from here to here is how many bars? 19 bars. So why is that showing up as our 20th index? I believe I've got to unlearn what I just thought I knew. What is the first index? Okay, all right. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay. Wait a minute. Let's unplot this red. Okay. All right. Got it, guys. All right, this is making my brain hurt. I got to go get some coffee because I haven't had coffee today. And I actually didn't have any coffee yesterday. But what's happening is very peculiar. It's really not, but I know what's happening. Okay. I keep drilling home to you about, because all this index stuff is right. But I keep drilling home to you the idea that when you have a swing low, that from here, when you see this dot here, you don't know that this is a swing low. You know that it's got 20 bars above it on this side, but you don't know, now it's got 1 bar above it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. So this bar is not included. And I'm not 100% sure I was aware of that. So again, when you're using somebody else's program, or when you're using a function that's innate or native to Tradestation or something like that, it's not a bad idea to look up the program. The program that I'm using here for the swing lows, the function SL. The SL is a function I created of another function that's called swing low. And swing low has instance, price, strength, length. If you click this and you open it up, it's going to show you, I imagine, that we have a number of bars on either side, right? So is at least as low as the same price on the preceding bars and lower than the same price on the bars that follow it. When the price of a bar is at least as low as the same price on the preceding bars and lower, right? So now what about the strength? Because the strength is what I'm looking at, the number of bars required on either side of the swing. Now, this definition here sets the required number of bars on either side of the swing bar. On either side of the swing bar. So this is 1 on this side of the swing bar. This is 1 on the right side of the swing bar. If we're talking about the right side of the swing bar, we're not saying this is 1 and 2. We're not saying this is 1 and 2 and 3. No, we're saying this is the swing bar, and this is 1, this is 2. So, it gets probably a little more complicated when you have an equal low, but that'll be for another video. But for right now, this swing low of 20 occurred because we have 20 bars on one side of this, and this bar is not included, okay? And then we have 20 bars on this side. All right, great. I spent 20 minutes trying to figure out something I probably should have already known, but I guess I tell you what, that 20 minutes will save me another 2 years of headaches from incorrect indicators. So hope you guys pick that up. All right, so instead of going to, because we do want this swing to be included, just for this video, we want it to be included. So instead of looking at the 20 bars of strength from this swing, let's also look at that 21st. The pivot bar in the assessment of the position relative to the moving line. All right, so instead of going from 0 to 19, we're going to go 0 to 20. And we don't need the print statement. And if we did make it to 20, then we can go ahead and break so that we don't add another 1 to this loop. I think what I've done in the past, which is why I didn't have any issues, is because I'd say if index is greater than or equal to, say 19, and so I wouldn't have any issues. So I'd put 20 here. I wouldn't break it. And now when we get down, when all this is complete, this index will actually read as 21. But because I typically just say, all right, well, if it's greater than or equal to 20, then, bada-bye. But that's not knowing exactly what's going on with the variables. But now I do, so I'm better off for it. All right, so we're going to verify that. Get rid of this. All right, so now we zoom back out, and I don't think we'll have anything that shows up. No, we don't. Okay, so instead of this being this 15-period moving average, let's move this to the SA. We'll do this moving average. Or I don't even think it's moving average. I think it's just average. Average of, we're going to say I think the moving average typically uses the close, and we'll say of 25, 50 bars. Okay, so none at the 50 bars, none at the lower, the faster moving averages. None at the 9, none at the 25, none at the 50. Let's move this to 75. We know we have them at 200. All right, so at the 75, we got something there. All right, we have 1 there, we have 1 here, we have 1 here. Okay, so now when we go and we look at this specific instance, all these bars, this is our swing, and our swing happens to be just over the 200 period moving average. Okay, all right, great, got it. I know you guys are excited to have taken a whole hour to do a simple strategy, but I tell you what, it's a strategy that at least up until this point, whether I worded it wrong or not, I don't know, but it's a strategy that DeepSeek could not put together. Not for Tradestation. And maybe they can do it a little bit better with a Python language or something like that, but they missed one of the basic tenets with Tradestation, is that you can't reference historical, bars into the future. So again, this is my script, right? I'll take my script off, and then this is DeepSeek. Comes to an error, referencing historical data into the future. And again, I don't think everybody has the time or the patience or we'll just say the time or the patience to get through this much stuff with programming. I do, unfortunately. But that being said, I think there is room for, your AI stuff to help out. But then really taking the time to know and understand and learn will make you a better programmer in general. All right. Anyways, guys, this has been a broadcast by yours truly. I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.